Welcome to Quill Connect Christmas Special with me, Joyce Strachan-Brain, and
me, Bev Bevan.
We always enjoy recording the show, but no time more than the festive season. And we're really excited because we've got some gigs coming up through December. So I'll quickly tell you a little bit about them. The first one is on the 5th of December, and it's one of our favourite venues. We've been playing a lot of years. It's the Robin 2 in Bilston. And I know Kate will remember fondly some fantastic nights we had at the old Robin 1 in Merry Hill. We used to do Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve many times for them, and we'd play lots of favourite songs like Fairy Tale in New York, Greg Lake, I Wish It Could Be Christmas, and of course God Rest You Merry Gentlemen. And we're going to be playing all those songs during our Christmas shows, so please come along and watch one of the shows.
Yeah, indeed, and there's 5 more as well. There's there's one in Cannock and there's 2 in Admaston.
Yep, absolutely. And the 2 in Admaston are very unusual because they're in village halls. We have log fires, candlelit, and it's got a great atmosphere. So if you want to find out more about the shows, as always, go to the website www.quilluk.com.
Well, we've mentioned the new album a few times, given it a plug or two. The new Quill album is called Riding Rainbows. And here's kind of a little taster. Here's two tracks from the album recorded live earlier this year.
I'm shining my innocence, I'm taking the blame. I'm running through fire nights, I'm feeling no pain. Crashing through heaven on moonbeams from afar. Comets and meteors show us who we are. Life's sweetest mystery is the hardest to explain. When you fall in love, no one tells you there'll be pain. Flying like a bird or singing like stone. Listen to your angels, they'll bring you on home. When you find me, I'll be riding on a rainbow.
Okay, time for some anniversaries during December and January. December the 1st, Sandy Nelson, who recorded the original version of Let There Be Drums, which is one of the songs that inspired me. He'll be 83 years old. And I did a version of that song myself in 1975 on the Jet Records label. And this year, we've done it again with my old friend Don Powell from Slade and some other 30 other drummers, I think, altogether, including Brian Bennett from The Shadows, one of my heroes. And it sounds great, and it's going to a great cause. It's a charity record. All the proceeds are going to those out-of-work road crew that have suffered so much during the during lockdown.
Yeah.
So it's fun to do, and for a good cause too.
Yeah, and of course we've got some prizes because everyone had to let us know when it was recorded, and we're going to be telling you more about that later.
Yeah. So especially all loads of people sent in entries. So we'll know who the five
winners.
5 lucky winners are later in the show. Okay, on the 3rd, I've got to give a mention to my old friend Ozzy Osbourne from Black Sabbath. I worked with Black Sabbath in 82 and 83. Ian Gillan was the lead singer in those days. But I've met Ozzy loads and loads of times. So happy birthday, Oz.
Happy birthday.
And Sharon, if you're there too. Happy birthday. Right, going back in time here. On December the 5th, it was the final night of a very special British package tour in 1968 that was headlined by Jimi Hendrix, the Jimi Hendrix Experience, with The Move second on the bill, Pink Floyd, and also on the show was Amen Corner. And the lead singer of Amen Corner, Mr. Andy Fairweather-Low.
Yeah.
What a lovely guy.
Fabulous fellow.
And he duets with Joy on the new album, a new Quill album, Riding Rainbows. Okay, just throwing this in, on the 9th of December 1966, The Move were on Ready, Steady, Go, promoting our single Night of Fear. And I just happened, also on the show was Bobby Hebb and Jimmy Ruffin and Peter and Gordon. What happened to all that lot, eh? Got 10th, my old, actually great bass player, Ace Kefford from The Move, who's been through some rough times, but wow, what a great looking guy he was. What a great singer, what a great bass player. That original 5-piece Move lineup was hot. And he's going to be 75 on December the 10th. Also on the 5th of December will be the wonderful Alan Cave's birthday.
Happy birthday, Al.
Yeah, who produces this show, has done a fantastic job producing the Riding Rainbows album, and of course all the live shows too. Happy birthday, Al.
Happy birthday, Al.
December the 11th will be Brenda Lee's 77th birthday, and I went to see her during the 70s at probably my favourite club in Los Angeles called the Troubadour.
Well, wonderful.
And I went backstage to meet her. And we've actually got a photo to show you. The album that she had out at that time, she autographed for me. Said some really nice things. So we're going to show a picture of that.
Yeah, great memory.
Okay, all those birthdays so far were Sagittarians, like myself. Now we're into Capricorns. And on Christmas Day, December the 25th, Annie Lennox will be 67. And back in 1984, ELO were recording at some studios in Nassau, which is a pretty nice place to be recording anything, really. Yeah. And Annie Lennox and Dave Stewart from the Eurythmics were recording the soundtrack to the 1984 soundtrack movie.
Yeah. And I believe you used to make breakfast, didn't you, with Annie?
Yeah, we were if we're there. We were the kitchen people. Yeah, Annie looked after the Eurythmics, and I looked after the guys in ELO, made them tea and scrambled egg on toast.
He makes a brilliant omelette, I believe. Yeah, he does.
Okay, on the 27th of December, Mike Pinder, the original keyboard player with the Moody Blues, he'll be 80 years old. I'd like to say there's not many of the original Moody Blues left. We keep in touch with Denny Lane, which is great. And it was very sad that Graham Edge passed away
Yeah.
only in November.
Yeah.
So happy birthday, Mike. Ding, 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 ding. That's what he played. A bit better than that. On the 30th of December, my old colleague Jeff Lynn, that's his birthday.
Happy birthday, Jeff.
He'll be 74. Happy birthday, Jeff, in LA. And finally, in December, I've got a note here that 31st of December, New Year's Eve, in 1967, I do remember it very well. The move had just started to have some success and whatever, and we played a fabulous venue called the Roundhouse in Chalk Farm in London, but top in the bill with the Who. And we were two hot bands, I must say, and I loved the Who back then, and with Keith Moon.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, into January, Capricorn again. On the 9th of January, Crystal Gale will be 70 years old, and she came to an ELO gig. I think it was Nashville, Tennessee. What a beautiful girl, and she made some fabulous records too.
Yeah, she certainly did. Yeah. Beautiful hair. You could sit on
The
it.
longest hair you've ever seen. Amazing. January the 10th, Rod Stewart will be 76. And the last gigs that the original ELO ever did were back in 86. And we were second on the bill to Rod Stewart at Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
And then we did 2 shows in Germany with him. Not the chattiest of
I would
blokes.
say you did get to know him very well, did you? No.
But saying that, I also played in a couple of celebrity football matches with him.
Yeah.
And he was great then.
Yeah.
And actually a very good player.
Really?
Could really play.
He's a big football fan, though, isn't he?
Yeah. But he was almost made it as a pro footballer.
Wow.
Unlike me. On the 20th of January.
How very dare you?
Keep it in.
Yeah, how very. You know what he's done? Come on. Can't believe it.
Thinking of that, does Rod Stewart share a birthday with anybody else that we know?
I think so. That means a few extra presents, I think.
I'll be in trouble if I forgot the birthday, wouldn't I?
Yeah, you certainly would.
It's there. Please send cards. January the 10th, Joy's birthday. Must say no old shoes.
No way.
Back to the nearly finished. Hang on in there. On the 20th of January, the Move were on Beat Club in Bremen, in Germany, again in 1967, along with the Tremolos. Here comes my baby, and Status Quo. But it wasn't the boogie woogie Status Quo. It was pictures of matchstick men.
Oh yes, yeah, very different.
Cats and dogs.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, very different.
And we're nearly done. Last one. January 24th, Jules Holland will be 63. And not a lot of people know this, but I actually played in the Jules Holland band just once because Gilson Lavis, he's long-standing drummer, who was also in Squeeze with him.
Yeah.
He was taken ill, and I depped for him at the last minute.
Brilliant.
But it's got on my CV been
Yeah.
in the Jules Holland band, and we backed Joe's daughter, Sam Brown,
Yeah.
and also Rick Astley.
Yeah.
Never gonna give you up.
I think he wants to be a singer, do you? Got some tunes today out of him.
Okay, that's it, folks.
Yeah, but Jules, if you're listening,
Happy
play
birthday.
your show.
Oh yeah, we'd love to. If you're there, Jules, we'd love to have Quill to be on your show
Yeah,
for old time's sake, mate.
yeah. Well, it's Christmas time. It's a wonderful time of year. But of course, with that comes the sadness too, because we've all lost folk that we think about at this time of year. And quite recently, we've had a number of losses, but one that comes to mind straight away is the very, very talented, lovely man, Brian Travers.
Yeah, sax player with UB40, of course, but I've worked with him 3 or 4 times at Birmingham Symphony Hall, which is a beautiful venue. I've worked with him at the Dulwich School of Music events, and also last Christmas, 2 Christmases ago,
2019.
and we believe it was actually probably Brian's last ever on-stage appearance.
Yeah.
It was with us at Birmingham Symphony Hall,
Yeah.
playing his sax solos on Rocking Around the Christmas Tree.
Yeah, and he was in good form, and we had a really lovely time with him, and it's a very special memory, and we're going to show you some of that footage right now.
Yeah, he's a lovely man, lovely man, and very artistic as well.
Yeah.
Very talented guy, and we miss you, Brian.
We certainly do, Brian.
So here is Brian Travers with Quill at Birmingham Symphony Hall 2 years ago, and we're all rocking round the Christmas tree.
Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Mistletoe hangs where you can see every couple try to stop. Rocking around the Christmas tree, let the Christmas spirit ring. Or later we'll have some pumpkin pie and we'll do some caroling. You will hear a sentimental feeling when you hear voices singing, let's be merry, deck the halls with boughs of holly, rocking around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. Everyone dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned way. Take it away. You will get a sentimental feeling when you hear voices singing, let's be jolly, deck the halls with boughs of holly, rocking around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. Everyone dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned way. And again. You will get a sentimental feeling when you hear voices ringing, let's be merry, deck the halls with boughs of holly, rocking around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. Everyone dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned way. So Brian Travers.
Ladies and gentlemen, Quill, Beth Bevan, and the legendary Brian Travers.
Well, we have got a special guest today on this Christmas show because we thought it would be rather good to have someone that usually the other side of the camera. We've heard us speak about him often, Mr. Alan Caves. And the reason for this is Alan knows, or I should say knew, Brian very, very well because you had many years with the band UB40. When did you start with UBs?
Well, I first encountered the UB40 experience way back in 1979. And I was doing a live sound for a band called Magnum a rock band.
Yeah, in the
And it was at Cannonell Park, a music festival. And I was very, very impressed with the singer. Although I hadn't really got into reggae at that point at all. I was into rock, you know. But what struck me was the space in it all, and the bass playing was great. And that's when I first met them.
Great.
Is that all right?
And when you met them, were the members of the band that you talked to more than others, or got to know?
Well, when I first started working with them, was we did a European tour, signing off their first album, which was recorded by Bob Lamb, the drummer with Steve
Yes,
Gibbons,
yeah.
in his bedroom, was beginning to take off, and their single, Food for Thought, was rising up the charts. And we went out to Europe to do small gigs, and because we went in minibuses, all mixing together, you get to know the musicians quite well, and in dodgy hotels and all the rest of it. But we did the tour, and it was very successful. You could tell there was something special going to happen. That's when I first worked with them as an engineer. Yeah.
You get a real bond, don't you, when you are travelling together in a
You do.
in a
You
truck
do.
or
You do
on a-
indeed. And that was in 1980.
Yeah. Okay.
And so you went on to work with them in some fairly exotic locations.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, straight after that tour, I went out with the Boomtown Rats on a world tour, so I didn't see them for nearly a year, and I came back, and another tour was organised, several tours of this country and Europe, and then because their audience had grown so much, they started doing tours abroad, wider tours, and we went off to Australia and New Zealand to do pub gigs, basically. But a pub gig in Australia was a 3,000 capacity, and they were massive. And that really went well, although I think the Australians had a little bit of an issue with the band being so multiracial.
Right, yeah.
But lots of Maoris turned up at gigs. It was very good. We did New Zealand, and that was nice. And then we came back. So the world tours, or the foreign areas, were now established, and they had to keep doing them then.
Of course.
You know, you make an album, you promote it, then you haven't got time because you're promoting it to make the next one. So then you do covers, you know,
Yes.
to keep the machine rolling. And that's went on for years.
It always worked for them, didn't the
yeah.
covers? Were very
And of course, being on an aeroplane for 30 hours, there and back, I was spending a long time talking to Brian a lot.
just about to ask you, you know. How
Because there's nothing else to do except get drunk, which that happened a few times.
I bet.
But the main sort of chat we had was about recording studios, which I'd got a big interest in from way back in the Magnum days, or way back in my history when I used to play a guitar. We recorded at Abbey Road. The guitar got put down, and I was looking behind the curtains at how it all worked, and my interest went towards recording and sound more than it was to playing guitar. But Brian and myself would have long chats, and about they needed a base in Birmingham to store their equipment. They needed rehearsal facilities, and they were looking at a building which was. People think it was an abattoir, but it wasn't. It was a meat store. And it was probably in the worst part of Birmingham you could build one, because there was the main railway into Birmingham right next door, which you heard, and the arms factory, the arms testing place where they tested the rifles and the guns. So it was a bit of a bad decision. So the building of the studio had to really cope with all this noise, which we did. But it was quite a bit of work. Yeah. So that's how that came about. And
But it was called the abattoir, wasn't it? Did they
it
call
was called the abattoir for a bit because we thought it was exciting. And a lot of people liked it, apart from Keith Baker, who was Magnum's manager. They recorded an album there called Storyteller's Night. And he says, I don't like the idea of saying recorded in an abattoir. This is managers talking.
Yes,
I said, well,
yeah.
don't then.
Yeah.
So it was at UB40 studio, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So but most people got quite into that, the abattoir.
Yeah.
And then it changed in the end to Depp International
Yeah, of
Studios.
course. Yeah,
But
yeah.
it started off as the abattoir.
Yeah, and it started off as a small studio, an 8-track, and then soon
Yeah,
became
well, it was a rehearsal room to start with.
Yeah.
And then turned into an 8-track to demo. And then a 24-track went in. And then it got expanded into the other studio in a cellar, which is another 24-track, and the thing grew, you know. And it recorded lots of different artists.
We recorded there. Of course.
Quill recorded there. I had lots of shocks doing sessions there. One Saturday morning, I went in, and there was a guy, a black guy, and a bloke with a bag, and that was John Paul Jones, Led Zeppelin, and the black guy was Ben E. King, and I didn't cotton on at first. We did the session, did the bit of recording, went to the pub, had a sandwich and a pint, and then I realised who it was. But I kept me face, you know.
Yeah, kept cool.
Kept being professional about that. But lots of things like that happened over the years. BBC turned up to do stuff. So it's a very successful little setup there.
Yeah, it was.
But the band at the time were out on tour doing a big 2-year world tour. So they missed all these
Things
big
coming
stars coming in and out. But and we did a session with Jeff Lynne as well. Action, the record that Dave Morgan and Richard Tandy had written. So that was
Yeah.
produced there and mixed there as well. So yeah, it's quite an exciting period.
Yeah, absolutely. And what sort of would you remember about Brian particularly? Very artistic, wasn't he? Very artistic.
Oh yeah, he was a visionary.
Yes.
And he was the one that he was the ambassador for the band. When they first went on tour with Chrissie Hynde and the Pretenders, it was Brian that did all the chat. It was when she turned up at the gig in London, he's the one that went and spoke to her and had a chat. So he steered that. He also had a lot of strengths in art because he went to Moseley Art School. So did Roy Wood.
Yeah.
The same thing. And he was very good at drawing. And his little signature of a saxophone appeared. Every time he did an autograph, a saxophone appeared. And in the early days, he did all of the artwork, I believe, for most of the albums as well. He was a visionary. And the other thing he got a great talent for was video making. He not only did the videos for UB40, Labour of Love, etc., etc., but he did videos for lots of other people. In fact, Bev was in one with me.
That's
For
right.
Roy Wood, Under Fire.
Yeah, Private Caves and Private Bevan.
Absolutely.
If you've not seen that, you must look it up. You probably get it on YouTube.
Yeah,
it
it is
really is.
funny.
Have you got it? Maybe you could. I don't know whether that can, but
Yeah, but
you must look at that.
That's where Brian went. He started doing videos for
Yeah.
lots of other artists.
What about the video you were in? That was fantastic.
The Red Wine one. Well,
You've got to watch this one as
that's
well.
yeah, that was in black and white.
Yeah.
Which is pretty arty at the time.
Yeah.
And there was lots of fellow workmates in that. Bob Doyle was in it. He was a policeman who they beat up.
Yeah.
They,
And you were the dad.
I was his dad, and I had to go and borrow some clothes off my dad, some baggy trousers and a dirty vest.
Yes, I love the
And
video.
I smoked a pipe at the time, and that you can see that on one of the shots walking down the road with the dogs and the pipe smoke bellowing out and picking up Ali, who was drunk because he'd been on the red wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's quite an experience. But all them videos were strung together into a short film,
Really?
and when they did a tour, the film went on as a support.
Well, that's a good idea.
And Brian directed all this. He got a proper director in, but he steered it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But there's a boxing scene in it where Robin Campbell and Ali Campbell are in a boxing ring, and Robin knocks Ali out. Well, while I was playing this film at a gig, Robin was the enemy. He was getting booed when he come on stage because he beat his brother up. It's
yeah.
fiction.
People believe
but that's
it.
the effect it had, you know, which
Yeah,
was great.
yeah.
So,
There were very good videos, and down to
yeah.
Brian, I mean, what a talent, yeah.
yeah, very talented. It was great at songwriting, and his lyric work was fabulous. He didn't rate himself as a sax player, which I think was not fair,
No.
because he could actually play very strong melodies in a very different way, and most of the melodies he did finished up as the main hook of the song,
Yeah.
like Food for Thought, the saxophone introduction. It put his stamp on everything. His lyric writing was fabulous. Very talented man,
Yeah.
and like I said, a visionary.
Yeah, and very
And
humble.
of course, should have been on our album
Yeah.
on Riding Rainbows, and
He was really
and
looking
he-
forward to
and
being on it, wasn't
we
he?
got it all booked in, ready to go, and he phoned and said, like really half sober, "I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm in intensive care hospital in London," and that was the end of it.
It was a thrill for me because I hadn't worked with him for many years, and then Brian turning up at Symphony Hall was like great.
Yeah.
Getting together again, having a chat, very friendly. But we've got a record of that. We recorded it, and we got a video of it.
And we've all got
That's
very,
right.
very, very fond memories of Brian Travis.
Absolutely.
But Brian passed, which was a big disappointment to me, because we're finally mixing again and talking about stuff, you know. And then sadly after that, Astro passed on, which is another blow. I worked with Astro a lot, and it was a real nice gentleman, a real gentleman, but quite aloof. He'd turn up, do what he had to do, we'd record a bit on Baggy Rhythm or something, and then he'd disappear and I wouldn't see him again for a few weeks, and then he'd come back in again. A good professional toaster, that they called him. I didn't understand what a toaster was when I first started working with him. I thought it was something you put your bread in, but I soon learned that a toaster's a bit like a rapper. They talk the story and put an addition to it, and he was very talented at that. Very talented. So
something you remember
miss
doing?
them both.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Well, we've been working on a new song called Magic Shop of Dreams, which really probably would be very good at Christmas. Lee, myself and Bev, and Lee's put a bit of a video together for it. But if anyone from John Lewis or Harvey Nicks are watching, think about it for next Christmas. Magic Shop of Dreams.
I found a heaven here on earth. I found a place for you and me. Just gaze and wonder, catch your breath when you will surely see. It's love that makes the world go round. So won't you join me on this merry-go-round? It's in the air, it's on the wind. Butterflies and angels' wings. So keep those dreams, hold on tight. There's so much love in the air tonight. Welcome to the magic shop of dreams. Look through the window and gaze in wonder at the magic shop of dreams. Special memories made forever in the magic shop of dreams. All you wish for lies before you in the magic shop of dreams. Sweet temptations are forsaking in the magic shop of dreams. Unlocking secrets, chasing dreams. Just close your eyes and see what I mean. Just gaze and wonder, push open the door. You know you'll never want for more. So keep those dreams, hold on tight. There's
Well, we hope you've enjoyed our Christmas special, Quill Connect. As always, it's a great pleasure, and we'd like to wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas.
And a very happy new year, one hopefully a lot happier and healthier than the one we've gone through this year.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Indeed.
On Christmas Day and gentle snow around a sleigh, I'd get down on my knees and pray, wash those corporate sins away, broken dreams around my feet, promises I could not keep, Christmas dreams, Christmas cheer, Christmas time of year, Christmas dreams, Christmas cheer, Christmas time of year.